This is Calvin Cox. It's Thursday evening, 8:32 p.m., October 24th, year is 2013. And what I want to talk about is is the good book right here, the Holy Bible. And I think it's really important to talk about especially the book of 1 Kings 3, starting verse 5, and it goes through verse 15. I'll read it real quick. This is small print. I got to use my magnifying glass. And this is about Solomon after his father, King David, had turned the throne over to him. And at Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask, what shall I give you?" And Solomon said, "You have shown great mercy to your servant David, my father, because he walked before you in truth, in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with you. You have continued this great kindness for him, and you have given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. Now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king instead of my father David. But I am a little child. I do not know how to go out or come in. And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, too numerous to be numbered or counted. Therefore," says Solomon, he's having a dream, and in the dream he's going to tell the Lord what he wants. Verse 9, "Therefore give to your servant an understanding heart to judge your people, that I may discern between good and evil. For who is able to judge this great people of yours?" The speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. Then God said to him, "Because you have asked this thing, and have not asked long life for yourself, nor have asked riches for yourself, nor have asked the life of your enemies, but have asked for yourself understanding to discern justice. Behold, I have done according to your words. See, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there has not been anyone like you before you, nor shall any like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings of all your days. So if you walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as your father David walked, then I will lengthen your days." Then Solomon awoke, and indeed it had been a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast for all his servants. I had heard this story. I went to church school about half my educated life, a little bit less than half, maybe a third. And I had heard this story, and then I read it a couple of times, but I just kind of read past it, wasn't really thinking in depth about it. And then, later I read it again, and boy, it really impressed me. It was the smartest thing Solomon could have asked for was wisdom, because with wisdom is the foundation of everything. And if you apply wisdom in the correct ways, you can make a fortune. You can figure out the good things to have a longer life. So really, it was very smart of Solomon to ask that. And the Bible, believe it or not, it is the one book in all the face of the whole earth that has so many storylines in it. As far as I am aware, there is no other book like this book on the face of the earth that has every single storyline, every single situational dynamic that I am aware of. And it's pretty incredible. Actually, the Bible is mind expansive. simply because it's just crammed with so much stuff. If you read this from the perspective of some people who read it, they read the stories and they see the evil things that occur and they're just completely turned off by it. But it's the yin and yang of everything. It has the good and the bad side both, as in life actually like it occurs. And so therefore it's a solid line to try and understand. It's going to give you both sides of the stories. And that's what it makes it much more valuable than a lot of other materials. There was a guy when I was in high school and I was going to Tacoma Academy, and my brother Frank found this place called Keystone. And Keystone was on, if you go from Sligo Church, which is at the corner of Flower and Carroll Avenue in Tacoma Park, and you take Carroll Avenue going towards Tacoma Park Seventh Adventist Church, right before you got to Tacoma Park Seventh Adventist Church, it was after, as I recall, on Carroll there's that little gas station, and the building has a sharp roof to it, real pointy roof. Right after that gas station, somewhere in on the right hand side, that row of businesses, was where Bruce Freeman, who was the teacher at Tacoma Academy, he taught, I believe it was communications class. He would teach kids how to work with cameras and, write scripts and how to deliver them and how to stand in front of the camera. It was a really cool class. For being a high school and the budget that Tacoma Academy worked on, he did a fantastic job. And he was excellent at communicating. Mr. Freeman has always been really good like that. And his wife, Carol, has always been incredibly supportive also. But what I'm getting at, my brother Frank discovered Keystone. And at Keystone, there was a guy there who was a very serious drug addict. He was older than my brother. I think he was like in his late 20s or early 30s, and he was a really, really serious drug user. My brother talked to him many times, got to know him pretty good, and heard a lot of the stories. And this would be back about 1975, 74, 75, something like that. And so my brother said, "Hey, this is really cool, Keystone, why don't you come with me?" So him and his wife and went over there, and we listened to Mr. Freeman. And Freeman, I knew him from Tacoma Academy, and so I listened to him talk, and he was presenting God to these individuals and street people, and of course people from Tacoma Academy or anyone from the church or whatever was welcome to come. And this fellow, who was a drug addict, I'm not sure of his name, so I'm not going to give out a name, but he got to reading the Bible, and even he was talking about it. He was saying, "Man, it is mind expansive." He went on to become a full-fledged medical doctor. He went to medical school, went all the way through medical school, and became a full-fledged doctor. Where he is nowadays, I have no idea. But, it's proof. This is not just a book to be toyed with. Some people like to toy with it, and they like to take it and disgrace it. I think that's abominable, and I think it's disgusting. They want you to respect them and everything they say, but then they want to turn around and take something decent and desecrate it. It's kind of like one-way thinking. You only want to be respected only the way you want to walk down the street, and you don't want to respect anyone else. And every chance you get, you'll turn a situation around and find some way to say something dirty or slanderous or funny, so you can simply sell something or someone out to lessen them and take something from them, even behind their back, thinking that perhaps you're doing it in a sneaky manner. I find that pretty disgusting. And I'm going to pray for some people that I have a very strong feeling about that. And it's really a shame, because the truth of the matter is they're on the losing end. They don't want to be sincere. They don't want to. I mean, it's just kind of pathetic. But hopefully, God willing, that situation, that dynamic will change very soon for the better. But to get back on Keystone and Mr. Freeman, he was actually a very incredible teacher. He worked with a lot of students, and he managed to really form some solid individuals who knew how to do really good camera work, and they knew how to do a fantastic presentation and just put everything together. And the Tacoma Park Church realized how fantastic that whole Keystone concept was, and they took Keystone and got Mr. Freeman to come on in, and then they moved it down into the bottom of the Tacoma Park Church, and that was the young people hangout for 70s, and I don't know, maybe all the 80s too, and part of the 90s. I really didn't follow Keystone that much afterwards, but it was known as the place that the young people could get together and come to, and be their own little group and interact and everything in a religious setting. And I think that was a really positive thing. And then, as I recall, Keystone moved on over to the Servicemen's Center. I think that's the last I have any memories of it. Anyway, so the Bible is really truly something that can be of assistance. If something is troubling someone, you can find spiritual support. You can find words of encouragement. You can use this book to perhaps look at something and try to find some reference. Now, you might need to use some reference books that help you reference certain stories or certain critical issues to find them in the Bible, because there's so many stories in here. You would be hard pressed to remember all of them precisely where they are. Some people can, believe me. I've talked to some. It's unbelievable what they know. But some of the reference books, that are geared to the Bible are very helpful to help you find what you need quicker, inside the pages of this book.